Dear colleagues, friends of planet Earth, friends of the atmosphere, lovers of Earth observation and care for the planet, in particular of science and new innovative technology, it is my pleasure to welcome you all to the Earth Explorer number 11 user consultation meeting on behalf of the European Space Agency. My name is Rune Flubakhagen. I'm head of what is called the Climate Action, Sustainability and Science Department. I'm a little bit the master of ceremony here today. I am extremely happy to see that we have a full house here online, and we actually also have at least an equal number of participants online. We are altogether around 400 people who have a vested interest and care for the selection of our next flagship Earth Explorer mission. Today is an extremely exciting day for all of us. There is quite a lot at stake also, but it is also a day of celebration. We are seeing here the culmination of the preparation of a flagship Earth observation mission, an Earth observation mission that is going to be and is being competitively selected. We all know the rules of the game. And this occasion here is the occasion where we at ESA get to present how we get to this point, and the two teams that are competing get a chance to present their mission, to present their passion, and to discuss with the user community, with the representatives of the member states, to talk about all of these things, to make sure that the group of advisors and the executive will propose the correct mission for implementation, and then propose that to the Program Board of Earth Observation, which in the end will make the final decision. I will explain a little bit more about the UZM and the whole process and how we got here a little bit later. But for the moment, it is my pleasure to hand over the word to Dr. Václav Kubera. He is the Director of the Space Activities and New Technologies Department at the Ministry of Transport here in the Czech Republic. And Václav, we are very happy to be in Prague today and to be in your wonderful city and country, and we are looking forward to your welcoming address. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for this introduction, and I must say I'm very surprised to see so many people here. Very happy that, well, not just here but also online you are connected. We remembered that 2016 there was the Living Planet Symposium in Prague. It's already 9 years, and well, it was the biggest symposium at the time, 3,500 people. A bit further from the airport to the city center than Diplomat Hotel, but well, congratulations to have this amount of people here and also online. Very happy to have you here. Very big honor for us. Well, when I saw your introduction, I always have the feeling that I need to explain. Because the Ministry of Transport and Earth Observation, the Ministry of Transport maybe is not in many countries linked to space activities, but in the Czech Republic it is, because the Ministry of Transport is the main ministry, it's a space ministry. We call ourselves a space ministry. So just to complement that, the Ministry of Transport is not just the only ministry which was available today to deliver speech, but but it's really the main ministry in the Czech Republic responsible for space. And so I have also the pleasure to be the head of delegation of Czech Republic to ESA. So, well, first of all, very warm welcome to all of you, to scientists, engineers, policymakers, and representatives of ESA. Very happy that, well, we were able to organize this event here. I don't want to repeat that Earth observation is important for all of us. The thing is that not everybody understands space as something important, so we need to persuade people, convince people that it's really important to use space and that we use space. This is not just something artificial or not just trips to Mars. As we hear from various people. I like ESA videos, honestly. This is was one of the very touchy videos. I must say, now people maybe consider space not just about civilian use. Now we see that it's more about defense, which we are talking. But well, I am very happy to see this still normal island talking about really science and what we can do for the best of future. So well, the as explorers, well, we have a few already implemented, few are coming. These two, I believe that whatever we select after this user consultation is just that I'm confident that, well, the chosen mission will deliver outstanding scientific insights and also high impact benefits for society. And this is what I really admire, that it's not just science, economy, but well, also that's why visible that there are impacts for society. So I would like to thank to all of you for your expertise, dedication, and for being part of building the future of European Earth science, and I'm very happy that also Czech entities are involved, because we are, as the Czech Republic, I believe that you can agree with me that we are considered as an active and constructive partner, not only in our delegation. We're happy to have Ondřej Schwab here, who will be here the whole day, who is a big supporter and enthusiast to Earth observation, but also Czech entities, both on industry and academia. So thank you once again. Good luck, and I hope that we will select the best mission. Thank you.
So now we're going to try something a little bit difficult, because due to flight problems this morning, our director is not here. She is in Rome. Let me see if we manage to get her on the screen here, and we get also her slides up, and then she can address us directly. So, Simonetta, I am inviting you to give the introductory speech, and I will help you with the slides from here. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning to everybody. Good morning to all the delegates, the scientists, the colleagues, the participants to this UCM meeting. As Rune said, my plan was to be there in person with you, but I got up at 4 for a flight at 6, which never left, and it was delayed for more than 3 hours. So I decided to be remotely connected, at least to be with you during the day and be able to follow the discussion and do the opening. So big welcome. I see the meeting is really this user consolidation meeting, a big one. I hear there are about 200 people remotely connected and as many in the room there in Prague. I want also at the occasion to really thank warmly the Czech government and Václav for hosting us there. I think the Czech government is very aware and very supportive of everything related to Earth observation. We even had recently the Czech minister visiting Esrin and really getting close to what we do every day on Earth observation and all what is discussed here today. So if we go to the first slide, I'll try just to set you a little bit the scene on the context of this user consultation meeting, which is really being organized to give you the feeling of how we are preparing and deciding for the next steps for the shortlisting of the next Earth Explorer 11 mission. So I don't see the first slide of mine, but basically the first one should be the overview of the Earth observation programs that we have today. As you know, today in ESA Earth Observation Program, we have three main streams of line of activities, three programmatic elements. One is the meteorological mission that we developed jointly with EUMETSAT. We just launched last week MTGS, the new sounder third generation mission, together with EUMETSAT, having on board also a Copernicus instrument, Sentinel-4, and the initial phases are very successful of that mission. So all the new generation meteorology. Then we work together with the Commission under the leadership of the Commission for all the Copernicus mission, the Sentinels. You know, this year we have 4 Sentinels, actually 3 more to launch at the end of the year. So it's a very successful program, an operational one to support users in the operational domain, but also in the science domain, as you are there, mostly scientists. And then last but not least, very relevant in our context of activities in EO, and many of you were at the Living Planet Symposium about 10 days ago, is of course the context of the Earth Explorer mission. Those are the science missions. They're the core of what we do in ESA, in Earth observation, through the FutureEO program, a program which is about innovation, technology, but it's also very much about science excellence. And Earth science excellence is really relevant to support challenges that we have, not just at scientific level, and you've all possibly have read the new Earth science strategy of ESA, looking at the gaps that we need to fill in terms of challenges in science, but also at the connection with the real policy dimension that science strategy needs to have, and the mission that we need to develop need to have. So in that context, basically the mission, the Explorer missions are an extremely important piece of what we do. They're essential not just to meet objectives which are punctual scientific objective, and we'll hear about the 2 shortlisted missions today and their scientific objectives during the day. But these are missions that also have the potential sometimes to become really as well operational missions once validated. And this was the case, for example, for EOLUS. It's been the case for quite a number of those, like Cryosat, that has become Crystal. And so many of these missions are going even beyond their punctual relevance, I would say, at the focusing on science gaps, and they have a much wider remit. If we go to the next slide, we see the wealth of the Earth Explorer missions. The first one was launched, was Goce, which ended its lifetime, but is still a very important mission in terms of data from the archives, or also in terms of follow-up with a mission called NGGM that is currently proposed as an opportunity mission on the ocean circulation and geodesy in collaboration in science with NASA for the next ministerial. We have a lot of those missions which are still up and running well beyond their initial lifetime. And this is the case, for example, for Cryosat, for SMOS, for SWARM. And those are missions which have been so successful from the science point of view, that have been also combining, I would say, the science results in terms of extrapolating from the single science results of one single mission, integrating really beyond what was initially planned in terms of science results. They've all been extended beyond the initial lifetime. We just celebrated at the Living Planet Symposium, for example, the 15 years of operation of Cryosat, which is extremely essential to look at ice thickness and everything that's related to climate change. If we go to the next slide, I think this is the one really showing you some results. We have the EarthCare results. You know, EarthCare was launched last year. It's a mission that looks at the role that cloud and aerosols play in the filtering the Earth radiation, the sun, towards Earth radiation budgets. It's a mission where we started to distribute level 2 data sets early this year in January. It's a mission which is in partnership with JAXA. JAXA providing the crowd profiling radar, but it's a mission that really also you see on the slide has given a lot of insights about essential elements of our daily life, like the Boris thunderstorms, or really the heating effect, and what the CIROs are playing in terms of role in the clouds. We also have the biomass example here in my slides. We have recently released the first biomass images from the biomass mission that was launched on the 29th of April. This is another very, very important mission in terms of not just innovation, technology development, but also in terms of the role that the mission will do in supporting climate challenges, the role of tropical forest in the CO2 absorption, in the CO2 fluxes, and tropical regions have a key role in that. And there we will be able, through this mission, to understand better in 3D, through very thorough scanning of the forest, the different role that the leaves, that trunks and roots play in those areas. And I think it's not just stunning what you've seen from the first images from biomass, but it's really a mission that has great potential to improve our daily lives and the understanding of carbon fluxes. If we go to the next slide, I think that's one, because I don't see the slides directly here, is the one on the ministerial. So why are we here today with the user consultation meeting? We are here because it's a very important moment, a timely one, in terms of having a short listing and a selection of the next Earth Explorer mission. You understand the relevance of those missions in the wider ESA Earth observation context. And this next Earth Explorer mission has been prepared for quite some time. You will hear about all the work that has been done in terms of science preparatory work, assessment on the options that you have today on the table from the scientists, but also in terms of industrial assessment of everything that's related to the industrial opportunities and setup we need to do to develop those two missions. Today we have those missions, and one of the two will be part of the package that is proposed to ministers at the ministerial in November in Bremen. In fact, we have there the most important program, which is called FutureEO. It's a challenging program in terms of having integrated also previous programmatic elements of Earth observation program, the climate space one and the GDA. But it's a very, very relevant program because, as I said, FutureEO is the core of what we do in Earth observation. It's science, it's innovation, it's preparation of future mission, and it's core scientific mission that supports our challenges. And that's why I think it's so important, the discussions we're going to have with you today. You are the user consultation here meeting. You represent the scientists and you represent really the community that is going to say how relevant those two shortlisted missions are. And then with the process that will involve CAIRT in the coming 2 days, and then formally Program Board of Earth Observation in September, we will formalize the decision before the ministerial about the next Earth Explorer 11. And this Earth Explorer 11 is together with the completion of another Explorer mission, Harmony, but also together with a number of other initiatives like the Scout missions, which are small scientific missions, and the Opportunity one on gravity, really part of the package and the core package and the essential priority elements of what we want to have funded by ministers at the ministerial. So your decisions and your advice, I would say, with the formal decision by member states coming up in September, are really important to have the right, path towards what we need to do at the ministerial. And then, of course, we need to guarantee, and that's also one of the reasons why I wasn't there last night, because yesterday I've been having a lot of bilateral meetings with my DG in Rome, with some partners to try and really defend the budgets. And this is a process we're doing currently with all the 23 member states to really present the proposals on the table for ministers, defend those budgets, see the affordability of member states, their priorities. Tomorrow there is another meeting in person in Paris, the Council Working Group, to prepare further for that. So you see how the process is shaping up. But these are the, would say, last really essential steps to go towards a consolidation of this very, very important program, FutureEO, which is at the core of what we present in the domain of Earth observation. There are many other programs. There are a few more on Copernicus with continuity of mission, supporting commercialization with InCube, digital twin of the Earth. But I must say today, we need to concentrate on FutureEO, because FutureEO is really the backbone of what we do. And these Explorer missions are really essential in the wider context of what we do in terms of Earth science excellence. And if you look at the current geopolitical context, those type of missions like the Explorer ones and all what we do in Earth science is becoming even more relevant, and ESA is becoming even more a reference in the world for everything that is done on Earth science. We could see this recently at the Living Planet Symposium, where not only we had over 7,000 people participating, but really a lot of our international partners, Japan, India, the US, were looking at Europe as the one that should clearly go ahead with its, I would say, reference model and leadership role in the domain of earth sciences. So in this context, I'd like to go to the next slide, and I think it's the one on ACEO. I mentioned ACEO, and ACEO is really the advisory committee to the Directorate of Earth Observation. It has a very important role in the context of the preparation of future mission. It is really the science advice that we get from ACEO, from a very, very group of high-level, neutral, I would say, scientists in terms of advising of the relevance of the missions, in terms of advising about the science relevant of those missions. And that's the context in which also ACEO, with after this UCM meeting, will elaborate further and give advice, because they're supposed to give advice to the Director of Earth Observation concerning what is done. ACEO has been really helpful in shaping a lot of our programs. It's been helpful in looking at the long-term strategy, but also providing high-level advice to the Earth Observation Program Board, and also to make recommendations to member states. So I'm also looking forward after this UCM meeting to a good ACEO meeting and get the best support advice in that respect. Last slide, it's the two selected shortlisted missions. It's, you know them better than me, it's WIVERN and CAIRT. I've been very, very well briefed by my teams in the last few weeks about all the work that has been done to prepare and to get to this point today. I mean, there are two fantastic missions from the science point of view. WIVERN is a wind velocity radar nepheloscope. It's a mission that will look at wind in the cloudy region, and I understand there's also quite a lot in terms of gaps to fill in that domain. It will also look at delivering profiles of rain, of snow and ice water, and this mission really will help overall in supporting hazardous weather and provide also insights to everything that's related to severe storms. And you know how many severe storms we're facing these days, even this week. So it's increasing. So that could be a very interesting instrument to have. The other mission is CAIRT, is as interesting from the science point of view, from what I understand from all the specialists here. It's a mission that they will look at short for changing atmosphere infrared tomography. It's a mission that can provide measurements which are needed to look really at a step change in understanding all the links between climate change, atmospheric chemistry, and the dynamics in the altitude between 5 and 115 kilometers. So another extremely interesting mission from the science point of view that can also provide very critical observation and supports the challenges we have. But I'm not the specialist on both of these missions. You will have during the day really all the specialists presenting you the science relevant of both the candidate mission, all the programmatic also elements presented to you, and I will follow closely the debate and listen to all what you have to say in terms of feedback and support to both of these missions, and see how we can do another step ahead in the process of shortlisting one of the two in view of the ministerial and a successful one. So with that, I would like to thank you. Also thank Rune and the colleagues like Torsten for being there in person and really taking over this role, which I would have liked to have with you today, of really having a sort of in-person management role of that meeting. So I'll be with you, but I'll be remotely. And have a good work, and I will listen to your comments. Thanks a lot.
So thank you very much, Simonetta. Now coming to the crux of why we are all here. If I can get the slide on the... I would like to start with slide 1, actually. Yes, thank you very much. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the UCM itself. I introduce the audience, both here in the room and online, to the ins and outs of the user consultation meeting and what is going to happen here. You have seen this already. Obviously, we are here to talk about Explorer number 11. It means that you have 10 predecessors, so we have some experience in running this. But the bar is also rising. Yeah? So there is tough competition going on. This just to set the context for what is going on. Simonetta already mentioned the two missions. I'm not going to talk about them because that will be done by people who are way more competent than me in this domain. But I would like to start where Simonetta left a little bit on the description of the FutureEO program. Because what we are really looking for here are the missions, or the missions that are really forming the backbone, the spine, and also the nervous system, I would say, of all of the ESA's Earth observation programs. The technology, the science, and the solutions that we develop in the FutureEO program are used everywhere else for all other Earth observation programs in ESA. And that's also the reason why many, also way outside of Europe, are really considering this program to be the crème de la crème of Earth observation programs in the world. So we are basically looking at the gold standards, and we are looking at European leadership in times where focus on Earth observation is not, well, it is mainstreaming in society, but there is also competition for funding, as also the representative for the Czech Ministry of Space and Transport, I should say now, was talking about before. So in this program, we address the challenges in science, but also in society of tomorrow, but we do it through scientific excellence and technology innovation. So we really prepare and identify and implement, let's say, all these research missions and take that through the entire mission implementation phase, obviously. What is maybe less known to people in the room is that if your mission is selected, we are not just going to finance, let's say, the mission implementation and the delivery of the products. There is also something that comes after, which is part of the so-called Earth Action pillar in the FutureEO program, which means that the missions selected will also be integrated in the wider ecosystem of everything else that is available. And we are endeavoring and seeking serious funding also for deeper activities in all of these domains as well, which benefits the entire ecosystem, which meanwhile is large, as we have seen in Simonetta's slides, in Europe, and also in a broader international context here, in delivering system science, climate science, and also more generally benefits to society, and to some extent also in the end of all of this, trying to support the competitiveness of Europe and the European industry in this domain. Now, the objective of the meeting, I try to list them here. The UCM is a key milestone for the Explorer missions. At this stage, so we are looking at end of phase A, we have asked the science community, and specifically the science community with a vested interest in atmospheric issues, to come together to discuss and also to highlight the scientific merit of the two missions that we are discussing here. And the scientific merit per se, but also the way that it's being proposed to be implemented. So we are also looking at the implementation here, obviously. In doing that, we are receiving from the audience critical input to the mission selection process. And therefore, we are supporting what is called the Advisory Committee on Earth Observation in formulating their recommendation for selection to ESA. So I will repeat that because this is absolutely crucial. René Forsberg, as the chair of the CAIRT, will repeat that also. What is happening here is we have a community gathering where we present and discuss the missions. This will be taken as input to a committee which will have taken a close look at a lot of material that has been produced. I will come to that in a minute. And this committee will then formulate its recommendation to what is called the ESA executive. So to the Director of Earth Observation, and which will then take this forward to the Program Board for Earth Observation, which is the deciding body for this matter when it comes to finally signing the check. So we have, at the time when the slides were written, we said quite modestly that we have 300 plus participants in this meeting. Meanwhile, we are close to 400, some 200 in this room and equal number online. And we are inviting you all to contribute to the discussions here in the room and also for the people online, and I will come to how that will be done later. And we will capture these comments. So they will be delivered to the Advisory Committee for Earth Observation as direct input to the deliberations. And we will make sure that things that are being said in this room are therefore made good use of in that process. We are also live, yeah, and we have provided, therefore, through the webpage of this meeting, all the documents such that everybody has access to all of that. 2 times 190 pages on the reports for mission selection. This is serious reading, I should say, but it's quite a challenge to read through all of that and try to understand it. So, but it is absolutely necessary for all of us in the room to understand in detail what we are talking about and to make sure that it is, let's say, all the arguments are given and that there is enough material also to understand the implementation issues, technical issues, and so on, for all of us to be able to discuss here. There's also a good number of supporting documents available. All of them are listed here. I don't need to report them here, but everyone has access to the same information. This is what is of absolute key importance here. What is also going to happen here is that besides the discussion that we will open here in the room, there is the possibility for everyone to give your comments and write your question to this email address that you see at the bottom here. So we will have one member of the ESA executive and also one member of the Advisory Committee on Earth Observation constantly monitoring this email address during this meeting, such that any question, any comment that you may have will be captured, and we will hopefully be able to floor them here, and at the very least we will pass them on to the Advisory Committee for Earth Observation. So this is a little bit what is going to happen. I need to say one thing about the science strategy, the Earth Observation science strategy. This is of relevance for this discussion because, as Simonetta said, we have since September last year a new Earth Observation science strategy. It was published in September of last year, and that was 9 years after the previous strategy was published. And of course, the new science strategy is applicable to everything that we are doing in principle from that moment onwards. However, in the case of Earth Explorer 11, where the call for ideas was actually issued in May 2020, so that's more than 4 years before this new Earth Observation science strategy was published, we are not, let's say, enforcing in a late stage this new science strategy on the teams and on their implementation. So actually the assessment versus the strategic objectives of the Earth Observation science activities and programs is formally done with respect to the 2015 strategy. I wanted to be very clear about that because that could have been a question also coming from the audience. This is the agenda for today. I hope that we are still within time. I'm looking at the guy with this big ugly sign that says 5 minutes, 3 minutes, 2 minutes, and so on. I predict that's going to be a problem for more people in the room. Yeah. And we are going to start after a short little, I wouldn't say break, but regrouping of the stage here to allow the first team to come on stage. We are going to start with the presentation of the CAIRT mission. I can also assure you that this is not by chance that it happened that way, that CAIRT goes first. There has been a very serious and very well documented process of tossing a coin to make sure that this is done fairly and squarely. That's part of the process here to avoid any feeling of bias in this entire discussion. They will start, and they will be the same for the WIVERN mission later on, with the first part on the scientific objectives. Then there will be a presentation on all the technical aspects of the mission, and then we come back to the science and in particular linked to the performance aspect. And of course then the programmatics will come at the end, and we will open the floor before lunch to have a Q&A with everybody in the room and online on the CAIRT mission, and that will be the way that we're going to feel this morning. And then obviously for WIVERN later on, it's exactly the same. We will have also at the end of all of this 1 hour of a general discussion from 5 to 6. And at 6 o'clock, we will close the formal part of this meeting. We will be very strict on these timings. So if we are exceeding the time, we will basically be brutal to cut you off, just to make sure that everybody has exactly the same number of minutes available. As I said in the beginning, and I see now the first of these ugly flags is coming, it says 1 minute, and I will make it. We're having a reception/celebration of this brilliant work that has been done by the 2 teams this evening. So we will have a celebration reception at the Letensky Samachek restaurant. There will be a bus taking us there. Unfortunately, that's not for the online participants. But we will, have, let's say, the possibility also to celebrate together all the wonderful work that has been done. We will serve you food and drinks, so don't worry about that. And we will also make sure that you are safely taken back to your hotel by the end of the evening. And then, of course, tomorrow we will continue with the deliberations in the CAIRT meeting. And that is all I wanted to say about how this meeting is going to proceed. And I think I will hand it over to René Forsberg as the representative and chair of the Advisory Committee on Earth Observation for him to explain their role in all of this. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Rune and Simonetta, for the introductions here. And I'll just say I'm René Forsberg. I'm from DTU Space in Denmark, and I'm head of CAIRT. And just to give you a feeling for what is CAIRT, it's a selection of scientists from across Europe and Canada, which can basically have a coverage of the knowledge of all the Earth observation things. So we are not an atmosphere group of scientists at all. We are scientists abroad, all over Earth observation. We're about 15 members right now, no Canadians right now, but we are there. We have a broad base, and we have a very challenging job ahead of us, that is to judge between 2 excellent missions. I must say that the proposals, we read them, they're very large, very well documented, and it will be real tough work for us, but I'll guarantee you we'll also try and do it completely without any kind of preparations, which we did ahead of this meeting. We will listen to what you say, and then tomorrow we will make an in-depth treatment of all these things. It will be very difficult. We judge it by the science. We are a science advisory board. We are also looking at society benefits, even though it might not be science as such, but science which is not having a scientific use, or society use is maybe not that good a science as other sciences. So we're doing a very careful evaluation. I must say I've been around the CAIRT for quite some years now, and this is my 3rd EE selection. So we have a base, and we try and do it very carefully. The CAIRT members, some of them are in the audience here. As I said, decide tomorrow there will be opportunities for part of the MAX to get where we would like to ask some questions also tomorrow morning. Let's see how it all goes. And then I must say also to the host here in Czech Republic, it's really nice to be back in Prague. And I remember when we were here 9 years ago for the Living Planet also. That was a very nice place. We'll try and do what we can, but unfortunately we have to make a recommendation of 1 mission only. And even though it's a recommendation, it has to go to the Program Board for Earth Observation, which is the national delegates. Then Simonetta and ultimately the director of ESA, of course, will approve all these things we do, hopefully. So far, what CAIRT has reported in the missions, what we have recommended has actually also been what ESA chose to do in the end. So we look very much forward to hear these presentations today from the 2 MAC teams. And again, I would say that's an amazing work, and it's really tough what we had ahead of us. I guess that's all because of the limits of time.
Welcome, everybody. I'm Mark Drinkwater. I've been running the Earth and Mission Science Division for a number of years now, and I have the privilege to introduce a little bit of the background, where we've come from and where we've arrived for this meeting. Speaking also on behalf of my colleagues in the Future Missions and Architecture Department, who, together with my division, responsible for the composite of the science and the technical preparation of the missions to this point. And so I'm happy to be able to show a little bit more the background to the process, and then we'll leave it with the teams to go into depth about the two mission candidates. A little bit about the Earth Explorer mission timeline, because as has been mentioned, there's a lot of work that goes into preparing the missions, and what we've tried to institute through, first of all, through the inception of the Living Planet program in the mid-90s, is a regular opportunity for the science community to come up with new ideas together with industry for preparing competitive concepts for Earth explorers. These have been implemented through, first of all, user consultation meetings at the inception of the Living Planet program back in the late 90s, and they were carried through to a regular series of calls. Actually, it was with the Independent Science Review in 2015 that we had a recommendation really to try and have a regular cadence of or frequency of calls for new mission ideas. This has allowed us to introduce some regularity. Also, with the start of the FutureEO program at Space 19 Plus in the Ministerial in 2019, we've been instituting a regular series of these calls so that the science community has the opportunity both to prepare new ideas and to know when a call is coming along. It's with that in mind, of course, that we'd like to continue this regular 3-year cycle, and that's why you see the regular periodicity, if you like, from Earth Explorer 9 through the present day. We're at the Yellow Diamond in 2025, which is leading to the selection of Earth Explorer 11. We already have Earth Explorer 12 under preparation, and we'll be having a user consultation next year at the end of Phase 0 to showcase where we're at with the 4 competing candidates for Earth Explorer 12. But today is all about Earth Explorer 11. We came from the call, as Rune said, in 2020. This shows some of the guidelines. These are the key elements that guided the original proposers. The proposed ideas, of course, as Rune said, in relation to the science strategy, refers to the old strategy. We're looking for 2 key hallmarks of the missions at this stage. They're supposed to satisfy a certain maturity level, both on the science side and the technology side. We use our science readiness level scale to adjudicate on whether or not the missions are mature from a science standpoint, and on the technical side, we're using the technology readiness level scale. At this UCM, we're looking for a science maturity level of SRL 5, and there are certain criteria that govern judgment about that, which are written in our guidelines for the scientific readiness level, and we'll be using those as ingredients of the evaluation that ACIO make. The target cost at completion, or CAC, was 450 million euros. That was expressed in the guidelines, which were presented to our member states, and that's really the baseline for what we're looking at here. The mission shall be compliant with a launch on Vega, and the mission originally in the call was targeted for a launch in the 2032 timeframe. Now, as was mentioned, the decision was always phase-locked to the Ministerial Council later this year, and as such, we need to go to our September PBO so that we can have a decision paper prior to the Ministerial Council in November this year. This shows all of those steps en route to where we're at. It's been an extremely thorough process. We've had, from call in May 2020, we had 15 proposals which were evaluated thoroughly, both through an external peer evaluation and also through the ACIO's own evaluation of the proposals. We selected 4 mission candidates after the evaluation in 2020. That led to the Phase 0 activities. For those who were involved, you'll recall we had a user consultation meeting at the end of Phase 0 in Bucharest. That led to an ACIO recommendation in October 23, and the selection of the 2 candidates that are on show today. So we're at the end of Phase A, and we're looking for the ACIO's recommendation, which will enable us to formulate a decision. at the PBO in September, and we're hoping that our member states can take that decision. Regarding what's been going on in Phase A, because this is important, after the PBO approved the selection decision for the 2 candidates on show today, we went to our Industrial Policy Committee and we asked to go ahead with industrial activities that allowed us to pursue 2 parallel contracts for Phase A system-level study activities for each of the 2 candidates on show. So you'll see concepts A and B for each of the respective mission candidates. We had system-level study activities for both those conducted by industrial consortia. These were accompanied by scientific support activities and campaigns. And so we have the composite of all of those respective technical and scientific studies on show today. That's led to system simulator activities. We want to be able to showcase the performance that these concepts can achieve, and that gives us the confidence that these missions are both feasible and implementable, and that's part of the ingredient in relation to the scientific readiness level. So you can see we have these 2 parallel strands of activities for each of the respective candidates, and that's led to the body of information that will be presented today. So we had the industry and the science activities in step 1. They've formulated the output from the industry contracts and the science contracts. That's led to the input of the information to 2 reports for mission selection, which are on the website for the meeting today. Those reports have been publicly available now for 1 month prior to this meeting. Today we have the user consultation meeting in step 3, and that'll be followed by the ACIO's meeting tomorrow and the day after. We hope to be able to publicize a high-level recommendation from the ACIO by the end of this week. That'll put to rest the recommendation, and then we'll be providing the detailed evaluation which ACIO will prepare for September Program Board meeting in step 4. So we have all the reports that have come at this stage at the end of Phase A for the flagship missions. This gives a sample of Earth Explorer through Earth Explorer 11, Earth Explorer 7 through 11. If you scan the QR code here, if you don't already have access to those reports, you can get them right here and now by pointing your camera at the screen. Otherwise, you can go to the URL on the website. So I'd like to close at this stage by thanking all the teams for all the work that I know has gone into preparing for this meeting today. In particular, because it's my last Earth Explorer user consultation meeting, having been involved since the inception of the program. So I'm happy to announce that my job will be taken over as head of the Earth and Mission Science Division by Torsten Fehr. But in preparing this meeting, there's a lot of people involved, and I'd like to thank everybody from the science teams who've been doing all of the preparation of the reports and the presentations you'll see today, through the people who behind the scenes who've been organizing the user consultation meeting. So thanks to you all. I hope we can do justice to the 2 candidates. Thanks very much. Yeah.
Good. So now it's the time to get to the real core of all of this. So I invite the CAIRT team to take the stage. We'll give you a few minutes to get settled. Please stay in the room, the rest of us, because we don't plan to have coffee break just yet. Yeah. So CAIRT.